Now, it's so often I've said I don't feel as if I've appreciated the garden this year. As if I've blinked and I've missed it. I've just been too involved, in the work, the maintenance, the improvement itself, rather than the product that we are trying to produce and the beauty of it. Well, it's not just gardeners that will have that problem. It's anybody that is living a high-paced, high-stress life, which, let's face it, is pretty much all of us these days. So I find that early mornings here at Torside are the best way to do that. This time of year, sort of late May, everything is romping away. It really is. And sometimes, you can still be looking to that future, that sort of early summer where you think that's when the garden is going to be at its best. And it might be. But you'll miss some really special moments. This time of year, still got that spring freshness. You've got all the colour, as you can see in these formal beds, of the peonies, the roses, the alliums, the heuchera down there, the iris and the flags. It's absolutely magical, but you've still got that sort of spring green freshness and the leaves of the trees. So it has a real sense of birth and renewal. So it's a pretty special time for me. But like I say, this is where everything is growing like crazy. You can just spend all your time mowing the bloody lawn if you're not careful and miss the beauty of it. Also, the wildflowers, as we just walk through into some of the wildflower borders here, are off, they're not, you can see there's a load to come there. There's going to be a load of flower heads and a load more sort of colour and display than there is now, but then those that we've just seen would have gone. It's foxglove season, hence the mug. The foxglove itself is a classic way of explaining this. If you look at the foxglove itself, there's a whole load of flowers to come and a whole load of flowers that have gone, and you kind of think at some point that the whole thing is going to be in flower and that's when it will look its best, but it isn't. Quite often it's at this stage, it's that sort of middle stage, or even that first third, when it's looking its best. So laburnum, here's another example. There's two here, one in flower, one that has flowered already. You could always, it depends what sort of personality you are, but try and chase perfection in the garden, I suppose. And a lot of people do. Try and get things flowering exactly when they want to match the colour palette and all of that sort of stuff. But, you're in high danger of drawing out the beauty, sucking out the beauty, I should say, and sucking out the fun of gardening and the sort of natural element to it. And what you're doing there as well is just combating nature, fighting nature all the time, rather than trying to get into some sort of symbiotic relationship with it, which is the end of the walk here, I suppose. And what I would call this, I don't even know what this is, really. It's just a whole bunch of, I suppose you could call it a woodland border, if you like. There's honeysuckle in here, a load of borage, a bit of Queen Anne's lace, buddleias up there. But then there's a conker tree. There's a whole load of wild sown geraniums and sort of wood roses and things like that in here, and it just looks, to some they might look at it and think, well, it's a mess. I think it's beautiful. It's very natural, the wildlife loves it, and it's on the edge of the orchard border with a whole load more sort of wild flowers. It just does its thing. It requires very little maintenance. So the moral of that little mauling story, I suppose, you could sum it up into a phrase that we all know, which is, try and live a little bit more in the moment rather than in the past or the future. It is a cliche, but it's very true. Time, if you do live in the moment, can appear to just slow down and sometimes even stop, because you're so enthralled in what it is that you're doing at that moment. Another way of putting it, I suppose, is that you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. So I suppose enhancing or maximising the chances or the situation that can put you into those conditions. Well, for me, gardening is that, and gardening does do that. It provides me, along with my family, because they love doing it as well, the maximum possible chance of being happy. And look at that bearded iris right there. Amazing scent, beautiful colour. It stands out against quite a lot of the greens and yellows of the foliage. It's just happiness in a plant. But then formal borders, not the greatest angle. The opposite of the bed, or that sort of scruffy area I just explained up there. And they are just a symphony of colour and imagination and joy. And I smile just talking about it. Anyway, that's probably enough. It's foxglove season. If you don't have it in your garden, go and find some and enjoy them. Ciao for now.